A VC fund definitely is a lot harder, in my opinion, than raising money for a startup. And mostly it's because actually you need to raise more money and you have a limited number of slots of investors, and we can certainly talk about that. And you're also raising from the same kinds of people that you might raise from as a startup, so their checks are not that big. So we actually did more than 700 meetings to raise $11.5 million, which is a lot of meetings. And I mean, I think the gist of it is we just had to pack in our meetings like crazy and generate as much FOMO as we could. And the way that we did that was we started with a very low minimum. So some of our initial checks were 10K, 25K, which is pretty small for a fund. And then we gradually raised that minimum. So we use that actually as a forcing function for people who were smaller angel investors. We wanted to encourage them to come in earlier and use that momentum then to put pressure on larger checks. And so actually the interesting thing is a good chunk of that money came in during the last 8 weeks of our fundraise. I think something like 6 million of it, of the 11, came in the last few weeks. So that's how we did our raise, and that's no different actually when you plot it out as what a typical startup raise might look like as well. It's slow in the beginning, and then all of a sudden at the end everybody wants in. So, but I think in terms of the FOMO that we generated, it was very similar to raising money for a startup. It's just you're raising money for a fund.